Hi everyone and welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm very happy to have you here, guys. How are you doing? I hope you're all really well. In today's video, I want to try here on the camera with you two Mancera fragrances and one Montale fragrance. The fragrance that I will be trying out are trying out slash sharing my thoughts about them because I've tested them before on my skin are Rose Greedy, Instant Crush and Intense Pepper. So yes, if you're interested, then keep watching. Okay, so guys, I want to start with the one that is the most masculine out of the three, and that one is Intense Pepper by Montale. Personally, I find this fragrance a unisex leaning more masculine than a unisex staying in the middle, at least for me. And this comes from a person who loves unisex fragrances. In the opening, this one has black pepper, it has lemon. In the middle you have some floral notes, guys, and in the base you find oud, you find cedar, you find oak moss, musk and amber. And now, what do I get from this one? Let me spray this one on my skin actually. One spray of this one is more than enough, honestly. Now, what I like about it is that this composition is very unique. Okay, so when you first apply this one to your skin, it's guys, think of like you have like 10 kilos of lemon and you just like squish them together with your bare hands, and then you smell your hand and it smells, it's so citrusy, like so citrusy. And for me, I'm not a citrus lover, so for me this is almost like borderline too much citrus. If you're a man, this one would suit you. Oh my gosh, like if you're a man, this one I feel like would work amazing on you, because the citrus in the beginning, it for me personally, it just gives this masculinity to the fragrance. You have the citrus, which is like the main thing you smell. It's a little bit fresh, very sharp, very citrusy, almost to the point where it goes like green citrusy, you know. But in the background you have the woody notes, like the cedar wood, and you have the oud. The oud, it's not medicinal, which I'm happy about that, but you can pick it up, but it's just like there in the background, you know, to support the other notes. It's not like the main player in this fragrance, if you get my point. Now, should you try it or should you not try it? Guys, I feel like this depends on how much citrus can you tolerate in your fragrances. Like I've said, for me personally, this one is a little bit too citrusy in the opening, so it really puts me off. I don't want to smell like a lemon, you know, and not even that, but it's a little bit too masculine for me. I don't see how I could pull this one off. But keep in mind, guys, that this comes from a person who does not tolerate citrusy notes. This one projects really well, guys. Like when I was testing it out on my skin, like again, I did one spray, okay, and like it projects annoyingly well, okay, like whatever I did, like whenever I moved my hand, I could smell the fragrance to the point where like I got annoyed because of that. So yes, projection is not a problem for this fragrance, nor the longevity. It lasts really long, especially on my skin. Like on clothes, I feel like it would last for days, honestly, like legit days. And on my skin, I got like 7 to 8 hours, which is a lot. Of course, from the 7th to the 8th hour mark, it got to be more like a skin scent, so I had to get really close to be able to smell it, but I was still able to detect it on my skin, which it doesn't happen very often with fragrances with me, you know. So after this one starts to dry down on your skin, the citrus note, it will be there, but it won't be like the only thing you're able to smell. It will go in the background and you will be able to pick up the other notes. Like, for instance, on my skin, I'm able to pick up the cedarwood, and I feel like the cedarwood gives it almost this like piney vibe. Like the cedarwood combined with the citrusy notes gives this almost like a eucalyptus vibe to the fragrance, which I don't mind. Again, I like it. It's very unique. It is very unique. But for me, it is a little bit too much, you know. So this is why for me, this is not a full bottle worthy fragrance. But if you're a woman and you like these types of fragrances that are very demanding, you love citrus, because in this one you have to love it, because you will get it like from the moment you apply it till the very last bits of the dry down, you will smell the citrus, okay? And as it begins to dry down on your skin, you will start to pick up the oud more. But the oud here is not your barnyardish fickle vibes oud. It's more of your woody kind of oud, okay? Maybe like it leans like somehow a little bit leathery, if that makes sense. I can almost get like a patchouli vibe from this fragrance, even though no patchouli is listed. But like when I smell it in the very bits of the dry down, like I can almost smell the patchouli, so it might have patchouli. Those were my thoughts about the fragrance. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay guys, so I will start with one that was recommended to me by a lovely girl here on YouTube. Her channel is Perfumes with Pet, and she actually recommended me to try Rose is Greedy by Mancera. Oh, like something I forgot to tell you about the Intense Pepper from Montale. That one is a very dark, heavy, bottom heavy kind of fragrance. Even though the opening is like very in your face, like it is very bottom heavy as well. So it, after the opening, after like the very sparkling citrusy blast in your face, it moves into a very dark, very earthy kind of vibe. So that's what I wanted to tell you. I don't get any musky vibe from this one. To me, this is not a soft kind of fragrance. This is a very heavy, dark fragrance. So I just wanted to put this one out there in case you're interested in buying it, just to know what you should be expecting from this one. Now let's move on to Rose is Greedy. I have here, guys, the little decant. So let me read you the notes, and after that I will tell you what I can actually get from the fragrance. So in the top, guys, you have peach, blackcurrant, mandarin orange, coconut, and pink pepper. In the middle, you have rose, flowers, and jasmine. And in the base, you have white musk, you have sugar, vanilla, amber, and benzoin. Now, guys, what do I get from this fragrance? The main things that I'm able to smell from this one are the musk and the rose. They are the most dominant notes, at least on my skin. I saw that on Fragrantica it is categorized as a floral fruity gourmand. I do not agree with that, honestly. To me, it is more like a musky rose soapy kind of scent. But this is a very elegant scent. But in the beginning, it gives me like this this soapy vibe, but the kind of soap that you would find in a very expensive hotel, if that makes sense. I can actually pick up similarities between Rose is Greedy and Rose is Vanilla. Rose is Vanille, I'm sorry. But think of Rose is Vanille without the vanilla and without that very sweet sugary vibe to it. Like I feel like they share some parts, they have like some parts of the same DNA, you know, but then Rose is Vanille goes into the gourmand kind of vibe, and Rose is Greedy goes into the elegant, musky kind of vibe. So for me, this is more of an elegant scent. This is more of like a serious scent. I don't see this one as a very playful fragrance. Maybe it is a little bit playful, but it's like an elegant fragrance that's a little bit playful, you know, it's not a playful scent. Now that I'm smelling it, I can actually pick up the similarities even more. Think of Rose is Vanille without the vanilla. And this is what you get from this one. But this one is very rose dominant, so you have to like roses in order to like this one. The rose here, it's not very young, nor it's very dark. It stays somewhere in the middle, I feel. This one is a very easy take on rose, but you have to like rose because you will smell the rose probably like all throughout the fragrance. This one is definitely more elegant. It leans a little bit more classy, with a twist indeed, but it definitely leans a little bit more classy and clean than the other one. Personally, guys, I would still choose my Rose is Vanille because I absolutely love that fragrance. Like, honestly, it's like one of my signature scents at this moment. I like it a lot. This one, I like it, but it is definitely a floral. And usually how I like my florals, I either like them very oriental or I either like them very dark, you know. But this is the floral that stays somehow light, sweet, musky, clean, fresh. It's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I like it for how it smells. The scent wise, performance wise, it's great. If you like love florals, but you want something that's like a little bit different, like it has a kick to it, and I feel like this could work really well for you. It's definitely a floral dominant fragrance, like a rose dominant fragrance, with musk, maybe a little bit fruity, but like very bit fruity. I wouldn't say that this is a fruity fragrance, at least not on my skin, but it has like this sweet sugary vibe going on. So I feel like if you want that, this one is amazing for you. Let me get a sip of my coffee. I want to ask you something. Are you team tea or chai, or are you team coffee? I personally am team coffee. I love coffee. I drink it every day. I try to keep it like between one or maximum two coffees per day. But let me know, are you team tea or team coffee? But now let's move on to Instant Crush by Mancera. I had no idea what to expect from this one. I will be very honest, like I had no idea what to expect. It's safe to say that I was a little bit surprised, also a little bit disappointed in the beginning, but this is the type of fragrance that it will grow on you. You might not get why it's so like hyped up in the beginning. At least for me, like when I first tried this fragrance, like I legit could not understand why it is so popular and why everyone is like, you have to try it, you have to try it. But um after like I've tried it like the third time, I get why now. I do get. So let's try it. Here is, guys, like I hope you can see. Here is like the little decant I have. Okay, so when like in the first few seconds you apply this one on your skin, you will almost get like this a little bit of medicinal vibe, but not from oud. I feel like you might get that medicinal vibe from the saffron, but that one will disappear. So again, this is the type of fragrance that I would recommend you to wait like a minute until you smell it, so that it can open up a little bit. Okay, so this one for me is a very light, powdery fragrance. That's a little bit warm. That's a little bit spicy. But how I picture this fragrance? Think of powdered spices pressed very not pressed, like how you call like this action, like when you put like spices on something. Okay, now no, I will reformulate this. Think of powdered spices lightly put on a gingerbread. And this is what I get from this fragrance. But I love it because it makes me think of my childhood. Okay, so in the opening, this one has saffron, ginger, mandarin, and Sicilian bergamot. Bergamot, yes, I hope that's how you say it. In the middle, this one has amberwood, Moroccan rose, Egyptian jasmine, and Indonesian patchouli leaf. And guys, in the base, you have Madagascar vanilla, sandalwood, white musk, and oak moss. Now, what I can actually get from this fragrance? It's sweet, it's warm, it's a little bit powdery and spicy. Like, to be very honest, this is like the only way that I could put this. Like, think of like when you're like making a gingerbread house, okay? And you like lightly put some spices. I can also get the vanilla, but the vanilla here is like very soft, very dainty vanilla. I have to be very honest, guys. Like, again, this is not my cup of tea. This is not the fragrance that I would usually go for, but it's a very interesting one. Like, it definitely stands out from like your typical designer fragrances, and it has something that's very different to it. And I feel like this is the type of fragrance that um it's a bit challenging, but not in the scent wise. It's more challenging in like getting to actually understand it, and like understanding all its nuances, because this one is very, I feel like this one is very complex. Again, is this one full bottle worthy for me? No. At least not in this moment. This is not like a priority, for me. If you're interested in trying them, I would still advise you to get decants, especially if you want to buy intensive pepper. Intensive pepper, yes. Don't blind buy it, because you might think that, oh, like a little bit of citrus in the opening, that's not so harsh. But believe me, the opening is like a punch in the face, okay? Like, it's very harsh, it's very sharp. At least this is what I get from the opening, because I'm not a fan of citruses, okay, in my fragrances. Or at least not in these types of mix. I like a fragrance that's a little bit fruity, like a lot of fruity mixed with a little bit of citruses, that I can do. But like a citrusy woody fragrance that I cannot do, unfortunately, and this is what that one is. Rose is greedy. Should you try it? Actually, if you like florals and if you like rose and if you want to get like a floral guys, like this one is a tongue twister for me, like a floral fragrance, then try it, but get a decant of it. I will not advise you to blind buy it because it is not like the most spectacular fragrance you've tried, but it's also not the most basic one you've tried. If you're a floral lover, you would appreciate this one. But again, don't buy it for that gourmand aspect. You won't find it here. Now, Instant Crush. Should actually, I think you should try it. But again, only from decant. Don't blind buy it. Instant Crush. I feel like it's the one that it's the least projecting one. Like this one projects the least. Also, like longevity wise, it's not as long lasting as the other ones, but maybe is the type of fragrance that like after a while you're not able to smell it on you, but people around you are able to pick it up. I don't know. I'm happy I bought a decant of this and I did not blind buy like full bottles like I did in the past, and I got so disappointed. Yeah, that one, like if I were to tell you like what is my biggest fragrance disappointment, it would definitely be Black Intensive Aoud by Mancera, that one. So guys, those are my thoughts about the fragrances. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please put them down below and I will get back to you, I promise that. Again, I want to thank you so much for watching and I wish you an amazing day wherever you are. Bye guys. Mwah.